The vanished driver. It was a cold night in November, the kind of night when the roads are empty and silence spreads across the highway. Around 2:15 a.m., a highway camera recorded a strange sight. A car suddenly pulled over to the side of the road. The headlight stayed on and the driver's door opened. The man behind the wheel was 34-year-old Daniel Cross. He had just finished a late shift and was heading home. Witnesses who later checked the footage say he looked calm. No sign of panic, no rush. He simply stepped out of his vehicle and walked a few steps toward the dark woods by the road. The camera caught him until he left the beam of the headlights. After that, nothing. Daniel never came back into frame. His car stayed right there, engine running, lights glowing in the night. When morning came, another driver noticed the vehicle still on the shoulder. Police arrived quickly. What they found was disturbing. The keys were in the ignition. Daniel's wallet and phone were sitting on the passenger seat. The driver's side door was slightly open. There were no footprints leading into the woods. The ground was damp, so investigators expected at least some trace of where he went. But there was nothing. Detectives reviewed hours of nearby traffic and security cameras. Not once did Daniel appear again. No hitchhikers, no passing truck picking him up. He had simply walked out of sight and never returned. His family said he had no enemies, no financial problems, no reason to vanish. He wasn't depressed, wasn't running from anything. In fact, he had plans with friends later that same week. The strangest detail? The car battery eventually died because the headlights stayed on all night. It sat there, drained, like a frozen snapshot of the moment he disappeared. Over the years, countless theories have spread online. Some say Daniel might have staged his disappearance. But why leave his money and phone behind? Others suggest a random attack. But there was no evidence, no struggle, no DNA, nothing. And then there are the people who believe something supernatural pulled him into the woods that night. To this day, Daniel Cross has never been found. His family still hopes for answers. But after more than 2 decades, all that remains is the chilling footage of him calmly stepping out of his car, never to be seen again. The locked apartment. In 1998, in a quiet neighborhood of Warsaw, Poland, neighbors began to worry about a woman named Anna Kowalska. She was 42 years old, lived alone, and was usually very social. She greeted people in the hallway, borrowed sugar, chatted about the weather. Then one week, she completely vanished. For 5 days, nobody saw her leave the building. The mailbox piled up with letters. The lights in her apartment stayed off at night. Concerned, a neighbor called the police to perform a welfare check. When officers arrived, they noticed something strange. Right away, the front door was locked from the inside, and the security chain was still latched. No one could have entered or exited without breaking it, but there were no signs of forced entry. After carefully breaking in, the police expected to find Anna ill or worse. Instead, the apartment looked almost normal, too normal. Her bed was made. A cup of tea was still warm on the table, as if she had just stepped away. Her purse and keys were on the counter. The windows were locked tight from the inside, but Anna was gone. Forensics scoured the place. No fingerprints other than hers. No footprints. No signs of a struggle. Neighbors swore they hadn't seen anyone visit her. The investigation turned eerie when police checked the building's only working security camera, mounted near the main entrance. For the entire week, Anna was missing. The footage showed no trace of her leaving. The last time she appeared was 4 days before, entering the building with groceries. After that, nothing. The official report listed it as an unsolved disappearance. Some officers whispered that maybe she slipped out unnoticed, but the locked chain on the inside killed that theory. Others believed she may have known some secret exit in the old building. Her family believes something far darker happened. They say Anna had complained about feeling watched in the weeks before she vanished, often telling friends she heard footsteps outside her apartment at night. But the case file ended with a single haunting line: the resident could not have left through conventional means. Decades later, Anna Kowalska has never been found. Her apartment has been rented many times since, but tenants claim strange things. Footsteps in the hall, doors closing on their own, the feeling that someone is still inside. To this day, the question remains, How can a person vanish from a locked apartment without leaving a single trace? The shadow on the bridge. It was the summer of 2011 in a small town in West Virginia. A group of teenagers were out late at night, walking home after a party. They decided to take the old iron bridge that crossed the river. Locals avoided it after dark. People whispered that strange things happened there, but the teens thought it was just stories. Around 1 a.m., one of them started recording on his phone. He was joking, filming his friends walking across the bridge. The shaky video shows them laughing, teasing each other. Then, about halfway across, something strange appeared. In the dim light at the far end of the bridge, a tall shadow moved. It looked like a human figure, tall, thin, completely black. At first, the teens thought it was just another person. But as they got closer, the figure didn't move naturally. It didn't sway like a person walking. It simply glided across the bridge and then stopped. The teens froze. One of the girls whispered, "Do you see that?" The camera zoomed in. The shadow had no features. No face, no clothing, nothing. Just a dark silhouette that blocked out the background. Suddenly, the figure seemed to slide toward them fast. The teens screamed and ran back across the bridge. The phone footage turned shaky, full of panic and heavy breathing. When they stopped at the road, the boy holding the camera turned back. The figure was gone. The bridge was empty. The next day, they showed the footage to their parents. At first, everyone thought it was just kids playing around. But when the video spread online, people analyzed it frame by frame. There were no signs of editing. The shadow was solid. It even blocked out the bridge lights behind it. Local police brushed it off as a prank, but older residents said the bridge had a dark history. In the 1950s, a man was hit by a train there. In the 1970s, a woman drowned beneath the bridge after jumping in despair. Some believe the shadow is a restless spirit tied to the tragedies. The video is still on the internet today. Grainy, low quality, but chilling. Paranormal experts call it one of the clearest examples of a shadow figure caught on camera. Skeptics still argue it was just a trick of the light or a costumed person. But the teens who were there that night swear it wasn't human. To this day, none of them will cross that bridge again after dark. The disappearance in room 6. In 2004, a traveling salesman named Robert Hill checked into a cheap roadside motel in Arizona. He signed the logbook at 9:42 p.m. carrying only a small suitcase. The motel security camera caught him walking to his room. He unlocked the door, went inside, and that was the last time anyone ever saw him. The next morning, the housekeeper knocked to clean the room. No answer. The "Do Not Disturb" sign was on the handle. By afternoon, the motel manager decided to enter. What they found inside was strange. The room looked untouched. The bed was neatly made. The bathroom light was on, but no one was there. Robert's suitcase sat on the desk. Inside were his clothes, toothbrush, wallet, even his ID. His car was still in the parking lot, keys in his jacket pocket. It was as if he had stepped out for just a second. But the security cameras told another story. Robert never left the room. From the moment he entered, there was no footage of him coming out. The hallway camera worked all night. The window was sealed, painted shut years before. No fire escape, no back door. Police arrived and searched every inch. They pulled up carpet, tapped the walls, even checked the ceiling tiles. No secret exits, no crawl space. The motel was an old building, but there was simply nowhere to go. Witness interviews made it creepier. The guest in room 7, right next door, reported hearing muffled talking around 2 a.m., like Robert was having a conversation. But investigators confirmed he was traveling alone. Another guest across the hall said she woke up at 3 a.m. to the sound of banging, like fists against a wall. But again, no one else was in the room. When detectives pulled fingerprints, the only ones in the room belonged to Robert. No stranger, no intruder, nothing. The case went cold. Months later, Robert's family pushed for answers. Police rechecked the motel cameras. They even reviewed the footage from the parking lot. Not once did Robert appear again. He simply entered room 6 and vanished. Theories exploded online. Some said he was murdered and hidden in the motel somehow. Others believe he walked into a secret tunnel or trapdoor. But no evidence of that was ever found. Paranormal believers point out that the motel was built in the 1960s on land tied to Native American burial grounds. Some guests over the years had reported nightmares, voices, or the feeling of being watched in room 6. Today, that room is no longer rented out. The door is bolted shut. Employees quietly admit they don't like walking past it. One cleaner even quit after saying she heard breathing from inside the locked, empty room. Robert Hill has never been found. No trace, no body, nothing. Just one man who entered a motel room and never walked back out. Not everything caught on camera has an answer. Do you believe in coincidences?